Yo, what's really good? It's episode 35, and welcome to In Good Company, where we believe where the best business practices or something like that, whatever Mike Thomas just told me, happens in good company. I'm your guest host, D. Will, Don Willio, the 59 pastor, Mr. Church in the Wild, never going out of style, and I'm here with my good friend, my brother, and them, Lamonte. I don't know why I said Lamonte. It's Lamont,
Yes.
but we call Lamonte Hundson. How you feeling, brody?
I'm feeling good, man. You know, it's your boy Lamont. Some people call me Harlem. Some people call me Velocity. You know what I mean? But my birth name is Lamont. So, feeling good, bro.
Feeling good, as you should, man.
Blessed by the best. How you
you're
say?
blessed by the best. You know the rest.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, you should feel good. Make sure you guys follow, bro. What's your Instagram? handle?
Instagram is at @IAM.velocity. Again, it's at @IAM.velocity. You know what I mean? Nothing but positivity, nothing but fitness, health, and most of all, God. So we trying to rearrange everything right now. I'm not as active on there, but God is.
They don't need to know all that. Just know that's why he feel good, because all he do is work out.
Yeah.
No, that's actually how me and you we met. We met at a park.
Yeah,
We met at a park.
Through Lucky.
Yeah. Easy work. Shout out to Easy Work.
Shout out to Easy Work.
What did I say? Like it was like 2015 maybe.
2015.
I was just about to drop the album.
2014 is when me and Lucky, we've been met. Before I met Lucky, well, when I met Lucky,
I was working at the club.
Yeah, we went from the club to fitness and health. But 2014, that's probably when I first started going up the Troop Street on the west side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Those was the doggone days. I'm talking about. I remember you and Matt, y'all was so M Dot.
Oh, Dot, yeah. Free
Y'all
my
was
boy.
so free M Dot.
Yeah, free Dot, girl. Free Dot, man.
Y'all was so adamant to make sure I was ready for tour. I was about to go on tour. Man, I went on tour so jacked. Like all I wanted to wear was tank tops the whole time. Like, with my traps out.
Yeah.
But so we met, working out every day. We was working out every day.
Every day.
After every day, we was eating what? Salmon.
Yeah, the wife
salmon and
Amanda,
asparagus.
She started off. You know what I mean? That's when you was living downtown.
Yeah. Shout out to Amanda.
Yeah, shout out that sis. Oh man, that's a different anointing lady right there. So yeah, she was. I'm pretty sure she wants you to get back into the leading
because your boy is
fitness and
definitely
health.
got the dad bod. You know what I'm
we can
saying?
get that together. You know what I mean? That's easy for my part, but more than anything, at least you've been, spiritually balanced. That's the.
I'm spiritually fit.
Yeah.
I could go into a bodybuilding contest right now.
No, I'm saying,
yeah, I could get flexy.
Yeah,
I could get flexy. So, matter of fact, since we brought the spirit in, let's talk about that. So, boom, it's been a wild couple of weeks. So, let's talk about your journey, right? Let's talk about your journey.
Yeah.
So boom, we working out and everything like that. You find Christ. We attend a place. We ain't gonna even name it. I don't even. It's like I don't even say that word.
Yeah. It's very misleading.
You notice certain things about the place and the people that deter you. What is it? Cause I could say it happened with me too at some churches. You know what I'm saying? And I like to use that church with the little C. Because the big C church I respect, I love as the bride of Christ. But the little C church can be a little annoying, misleading, aggravating, and disappointing.
Yeah.
So what were some of the things that you saw that or experienced that was all of that?
Well, before my walk with Christ, I was I would always do my due diligence with anything that I partake in. So, with me saying that, I always learned that, God, Christ, he has a day of rest. You know what I mean? He wants you to rest in his word. so I wasn't feeling rested. You know what I mean? I would go there, I would feel the reset, but I didn't know if I didn't know if I was getting the anointing that I needed to get, or was I getting entertainment, or was I getting theatrics, or was I getting, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was something that was bothering me in my spirit, but I'm gonna put 100%. So me, with anything that I do, I'm the hypothesis. I'm gonna put myself through it, and I'm gonna see the experience for myself. I can never go off the next word of mouth. But and I should, it's kind of contradictory because I didn't never let God take the driver's seat in my life. So
the crazy thing is that happen with a lot of people though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then what we do, we'll put it in the category of church hurt, right?
Mhm.
They're like, oh, the church hurt, the church burnt me, the church did me wrong.
Yeah.
Cause I felt like I was at that at a few places that I have attended. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And what I had realized is something that you said earlier is like, yo, I put my faith in people.
Yeah, for sure.
I put my faith in an organization.
Idolize easily.
And not realizing that these places are full of flawed individuals.
Mhm.
They not only flawed in their body,
Yeah.
they flawed in their mindsets. A lot of them flawed in their doctrine. But and I even feel like nowadays, like, yo, that's probably why we are in these spaces. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's my mindset now, because usually I just want to black out. I just want to black out. Like, man, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all ain't. But I feel like sometimes God puts us in those places, and it's funny that you said, because you're a very detailed individual.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And when we think about how God has wired us, like I said to Mike's son earlier, like, yo, I knew you before you was formed in your mother's womb.
Yeah.
He's a master weaver, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, yo, God, why would you put me in these places? And it's almost like why not?
Exactly.
So what do you think that so in that type of experience, what you think like you learn in that space? So in your first walk with Christ stage, like what do you think did you experience and learn?
It was powerful, man. I learned a lot. You know what I mean? I learned, first off, you start learning of who created the earth, the waters and all that. And that's the foundational part. But I also learned that which, it's kind of dead around here. I learned about, the commandments. God is one thing, he wants you to keep those commandments. And of course, it's hard in this world we live in, but one thing that I kept reading in the Bible, because I actually got my old Bible in a car that I found, and as I'm reading things that I was highlighted, I'm like, oof, I was going through something. Dang, you know what I mean? You start highlighting. I'm talking about, I was so deep into it, but I was looking for the magic fix. You know what I'm saying? So me looking for the magic fix, I wanted the answer right away. You know what I mean? I never wanted a God's time. And I'm like, if I'm doing this X, Y, and Z, why you not? But not understanding, did God really want that for me? You know what I mean? So, in the midst of that, I just, like I said, I put my faith in people more than I put my faith in Christ. And it led me to destruction, me mentally. A lot of people would say they'll get mad at this brother. Oh, he's taking over. He's not even walking that walk. Oh, he's taking this religion. But I pray for a person to even think like that, because that doesn't mean I'm going to love you any different. You know what I mean? I'm just going to allow you. I'm disappointed. I could be disappointed. But for me to feel any type of anger or more than disappointment, that's all from the enemy. Because, I learned God is love. So me seeing things, well, they say when you go full flesh and you put 2 feet in with Christ, you start seeing things that you don't want to see.
Yeah. So what are some of those things that you ain't want to see?
Oof. So those things I ain't want to see was probably when I was like, in a relationship. Me, I want to see my relationship. I always wanted to paint the perfect picture together. But it was me trying to understand the situation, and then me understanding the situation was like, I didn't ask God, so how can I lead? So me not doing that, I was just, let me say the scripture that'll work. Like it was a whole bunch of like I had a whole bunch of,
you was casting scripture spells.
Exactly. I'm like, all right, now I'm walking around the house, I'm doing what I gotta do, but I knew I had to be broken down gracefully. And I listened, and I could say, the enemy's here, and Christ is here. You know what I mean? People always thinking that the enemy is this burning demon, but not understanding that the enemy and the devil is they almost look alike, because he wanted to be just like him, self-spoken. He wanted to be, he walked. And the only thing, he just used the greater good and the blessings for pure evil. He used the flesh to please itself rather than pleasing.
Yeah, people think that the devil gonna show up looking like, smelling like, acting like the devil.
Exactly.
Nah, twin. He about to pull up acting like he a angel from the Lord.
Exactly. He's very strategic. And I seen that, and I gained more frustration and more frustration. Before my first walk with Christ, I probably got baptized 5-6 times.
Wow.
But and listen, I'm just me understanding, like, I gotta do whatever. We gotta dip this water off. I gotta dip this water off. We gotta get this water. I gotta clean my family. And out of anybody, previously of, like my past life and my past relations, so you understand, and things that was tied with that, so you understand how that went. And I'm grateful because I left a great legacy. With all the scars and all the trauma, and I don't take nothing back because it gave me the experience to be where I'm at here today. You know what I'm saying? So,
what do you think you learned from all of that experience? Like internally,
I just learned recently. I'm serious. I can't say that because I made a decision, and then was the decision ordained by God? Did I get revealed by that? No, it was my own decision. I'll read this, but then it's like, if I don't see the answer I want to see, all right, well, I'm gonna put it under the carpet.
So what I'm hearing is, boom, your first initial walk with Christ, you feel burnt by the people, whatever, whatnot. Yeah. Then you move off your own merit, and then you get in a relationship, and it don't go your way. You move off your own merit. So boom, we go from that. Now, how did you get into Hebrew Israelitism? Because that was a wild time too. I've seen many forms of Monty.
Yeah,
that was a wild time. How did you?
I'm basically, I can say, like, I live my life like a journalist. You know what I mean? I gotta go deep into the history. Well,
that came out of nowhere.
Not really, because
for me,
if we staying in context,
yeah.
For you,
right?
You were stuck in that situation, in that place.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? We can't take the context out of the history. You know what I mean?
I was on autopilot.
Yeah, you was on autopilot at that place, which it wasn't. You was doing amazing work. Actually, you was trying to change
I was really trying to switch dudes out of.
Yeah, you was trying to change the whole outlook of what Christ really should look like.
Yeah.
So in the midst of that, me going through my hurt and my confusion, because like I said, I done came to you before I even, you know what I mean, I was in a place of even marriage. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean, I had to deal with my own hurt and healing, and like I said, it was just ways of me seeing that was me going over structure. I'm like, why am I in a place and I'm feeling so much paganism around me? I'm like, way. So
like mad paganism.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, like really, can I think I can order me a coffee to my seat. But long story short, man, I got with one of my brothers, actually, Lamar.
Stars.
Yeah.
Shout out to Stars.
Yeah, shout out to Stars.
He my child god that never got her anything for her birthday or nothing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We built it off that, you know what I mean? I heard his side, his conviction, why he walks the walk. And he gave me his testimony of why he even, declined music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I was like, oh wow, that's powerful. So, and we were learning about, Passover and learning about
the feast.
Everything
that should be celebrated.
Everything was in the Bible.
Holy days over holidays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I went that route.
It's for another episode.
Yo, man, this is I'm telling you. So when I placed myself there and I followed that, it was very structurally different, but it was old school. Meaning, but I could see the vision of why people take that route. You know what I mean? You get protected from a lot of this world stuff if you actually doing that. But the only thing is, it's just you kind of stay in that circle bubble, and you kind of look. You still people don't say they don't, you know what I mean, they just move off love. I that's what I have to move off of. I can't be judgmental. So
It
as
was
soon as
it was a hate cult.
it kind of
Disguised by God.
There's good people too that mean with good intentions as well, and it's a way of doing things. It's a way of preaching. It's a way of teaching.
Yeah.
And
but you have to do it out of the context of love.
Yeah, exactly.
Or else it's not a word
if you
of
say,
God.
no, this ain't that. You know, they be having these guys in the street and all that. And God bless those brothers. You know what I mean? Because they do a very tough job with people just, well, you bugging. You know, so you bugging. You get away from me, all that church. You know what I mean? That's how they be. But I seen the vision and it makes sense. Like I can understand it. May not agree with a person, but I can understand it. So I said, all right, let me put myself in here.
Yeah.
Let me take this walk and all that. Because end of the day, everything that came from it, everything that was spoken from it is from the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I can see that. And it kind of like the thing that I took from that was it deleted me from a lot of paganism that go now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these holidays that's
celebrated.
Worshiping. People don't even know what they worshiping. You know what I mean? So and it gave me a peace of mind. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm big on information. You give me information, we're gonna take that and I'm gonna process it. I'm gonna put myself like a hypothesis and add these projects and add the science with it, and let me see where it goes. Again, I didn't even walk fully with that walk because again, I was dealing with my own life problems and allow my decisions, my trauma to shape and form my life instead of the maker.
Right.
So, you know, with that being said, it was just like I took that walk and I had to learn. I mean, I have to learn my way. You know what I mean? I'd rather go through this religion, that religion, than going through this drug, that drug, going through this crime, that crime.
The crazy thing is people don't understand that religions can be drugs.
Mm-hmm. They can.
Religions, well, I don't even want to say can. I believe that religion, not God, religion is a drug.
It is.
And some people use these drugs to cope.
Mm-hmm.
They use these drugs to mask.
Yeah.
They use these drugs to even manipulate somebody else. Let me give you the drug real quick. You know what I'm saying? And it's not until the ultimate relationship, there has to be a connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only way that you get the fix.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe that people are looking for fixes,
mm-hmm.
but they're looking for these fixes in religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that even some of these Christians, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It goes back to they're focused on works.
Mm-hmm.
And works is religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or if I do this and if I do that and I don't do this and I don't do that, then it's like, yo, God just wants your heart. So boom, how did you get introduced to Islam? Because you went from Christianity,
mm-hmm.
Hebrew Israelite,
mm-hmm.
back to Christianity, then to Islam. You was
I was out here.
You was a nomad. You was a traveler.
I was traveling to find what it is I need to find.
A seeker. The ultimate seeker. Yeah. And I believe that's what I believe God honors that. Yeah. And I think that's something that God had put in you.
Yeah, he'll let me go astray. You know, I'm missing the Bible. He'll let you go astray and not lay his hand off you. And he'll let me go as deep as like you look at me, you know what I mean? I got face tattoos, neck tattoos. You could look at me and I wear my trauma on my body.
Mm-hmm.
So, he'll and it just made me in significance. You know what I mean? I can kill the flesh so much, but the spirit still could be rich.
Mm-hmm.
So now me learning that, and I took that step. And I mean, I always been around Muslim brothers. You know what I mean? Like my mentors did 10 years and 10 years here, from working in jails. You know, them type of brothers, you know, and I'm this put religion to the side. They're just big wisdom people, period. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They know how to talk, they know how to give you knowledge, they know how, but at the end of the day, it's based off their experience, you know what I mean? So people experience can save other people from going through a certain experience. So me, I took that route because when I got out of a marriage, I just didn't want to repeat a cycle. I was going through a cycle where it was like, all right, let me work it out. All right, I'll work out. All right, I don't want to ever see the D word and meaning being divorced. But I had to leave that with God. I let that on me. People, I never fully say, all right, Christ take over and do that. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, damn, big dog, like, what more can I do? Not only, but he letting me know, like, listen, I need you to follow me. And I really, and even when he revealed certain things to me, I kind of ignored it because I wanted things to play out for my greater good. You know what I mean? I wanted this certain life and this lifestyle to come together and to coexist in my previous relations, and it wasn't ordained. God didn't want to put both hands in it. You know what I mean? And two wrongs don't make a right. You know what I mean? You know, some people go together for a lifetime or seasons. And I was going through a lot of seasons, and and during the last season, I was like I said, I work in jail. So the last season, you'd be around brothers and all that. So I picked up the book. Let me read something. You know what I mean? Because I was at a place of just lost, hurt, resentment, like why, why me, like anybody else would do. And I just said I had to, you know what I mean? It gave me a certain peace. The routine of it, how people carry themselves, the people, Muslim people, and I respect to whatever they do. You know what I mean? That's we all got a day of judgment, and that day of judgment, everybody will get clarity. People could just be anointed, and people could bring the word, and it's about who you gonna put your faith in. I did put my faith in that. But like I said, it wasn't more, this time I was chasing peace more than I was chasing the truth, the faithfulness of God. And I said, you know what? Let me partake in my first Ramadan. For me doing that, it created a structure which I was like, I feel like this is what people need to be doing. There's so much unstructure in people, and people just go to church on Sunday. So it was like, I grew resentment. I turned my back on God. I turned my back on Christ. And me reading more and more, I ain't gonna lie, I was very confused at a lot of the text and all that. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'll say, okay,
we can get into that.
Yeah.
Because I remember, you don't even know how strategic I was the day before you took your shahada.
I remember everything too. Everything about it. I remember everything about it. Because I remember you talked mad bull crap before I even went. So about
a conversation I had with.
And I think I'm so competitive. I'm like, man, listen, I can show you better, bro.
Yeah.
So that's healthy though. You don't understand, that's healthy.
Right.
But I think I was on the last strand of like, I can't keep repeating it. It's like, well, I know God placed me here in mad potential, so I took that route. I took that route for up to a year until I came into a situation where, I met my girl now, and we fast forward 6-7 months. You know what I mean? And it's like, big dog upstairs blessed me with a baby boy in a way. So it's like, oh, wow, it gave me purpose. So that right there, that grew discernment in me. I'm like, something is working on the inside. I don't know what it is. And that's the toughest. I'm partaking in a religion right now it's not feeding my purpose. It's not feeding what I got to do and lead. It was kind of like I'll sit there and, my girl now, and shout out to her, shout out to Swin, she's carrying 22 weeks as of Sunday. And it's just a beautiful thing to meet that amazing individual.
Shout out to sis. Yeah, carry that baby well with 6 abs on the outside.
Yeah. Nah, she's a beautiful human being, and I couldn't really understand the clarity of what God brought for me because I was already partaking in a different walk. And that different walk, it was just like it was a connect to disconnect, and it kept coming and it kept coming. So I'm like, all right. It took me to go through wrong. You feel me? It took me to go through wrong and bringing old trauma into my new relationship, and feel hurt that I felt years ago. And I mean, open probably every wound that could possibly open. That's why I called you that day. I don't know what, bro. I sat there looking at my phone. I could have called anybody. I got contact for days. You know what I mean? I could have reached out to Muslim brothers.
Yeah,
but I didn't. I had to allow God to work. I said, something's not right in my spirit. So one day I was in the dark and I'm just tearing. I'm nearly sitting on the floor in the fetal position, like I'm feeling this week again. Conviction came.
Mm.
And I just like, you know what I mean? My best way of communicating with Christ was it was amazing, bro. Like, I mean, before everything transpired, me choosing a route of religion, remember me, I was learning how to pray good, everything. So I just started praying. I felt the conviction. And I mind you, this is before me getting baptized and renewing my life to Christ. I'm praying to Jesus even while I already took that walk. I said, and I felt my body take over instantly. My tears, I couldn't cry no more. And you know what I mean? I can't sit here and lie. I said, I heard a voice. No, I didn't hear a voice, but I felt my heart shift.
Have you, while you were in Islam, have you ever felt Allah?
Nah, I can't say I felt his presence. I just felt a peace because
of what you were doing.
What I was doing. And then it just made me, like I said, I take pieces from things. So me taking pieces does not mean in the religion. I take piece of how I need to carry myself. And in Islam, they believe in like deeds and deeds and all that. Me as a Christ follower now, the same thing. I still got to give out good. I still, you know what I mean? I still want to give more out than I receive because he triples the blessings always.
And there has to be an understanding that there's a difference between doing and being, right? So like a lot of people, like when you look at religion is definitely do. But a relationship with Christ is him reintroducing you back to the Father, because when we go back to the beginning, there was a separation that happened in the garden. That's why I have a lot of conversations with some of my Muslim homies, like, yo, now that in the Quran it says that the Torah and the gospel come from Allah, so it cannot have any contradiction, right? And then it's like, okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning and understanding that there was a separation from God and man because of sin. How does that sin come back together? That's why with that conversation, I said, so atonement. I'm like, atonement. I'm like, I know this is not about to forfeit atonement. And then when you took your shahada, I just sat and I just crossed my hands. I'm like, I love, bro. Like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna dog them. I'm a like a picture. I ain't gonna like none of this Muslim stuff. But I love, bro. I said, and I would pray for you, bro. Yeah. I would pray for you. Yeah. I went to the guys at the link up. I'm like, yo, Monty done turned Muslim, y'all. Yeah. We went to praying. I was like, watch, he'll be back. Watch this. He'll be back. I ain't even gonna trip. Yeah. I ain't even gonna trip because I know of God as being relentless and he's constant. And just like you said, he'll let you go astray, but keep his hand right up on you.
Oh, no, he'll let me walk in the fire and feel burned.
Yeah. And then go right up in there with you though.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He was in there with me, man. One thing about me too, I was like I said, I told you earlier, I'm a wolf of peace and love too. So it's like God sent us here to be a certain type of leader. So I'm like, all right, not everybody have it, or somebody could be anointing and this or that. Let me bring what I can bring to the table so we can create that fellowship, so I can have stronger Christ brothers. That's why in the first time, the link up after me being baptized, which was a spontaneous baptism, I was just quiet because I wanted to soak everything in. Did I want to get my conviction, my testimony, and repent in front of all my brothers? Of course I did, but I was something where I was just like, my brain is moving 1,000 miles per minute. This time I'm just going to take the seat, God. I'm going to let you do the driver's seat. And that's what I've been doing every time. Every time even the enemy arises now, I just like, you know what? I'm going to pray on it. I'm going to pray on it. And it's hard because you don't want things to go this way.
Right.
But now I'm fully just like, the foolish sight, I can't do it no more. I'm tired. The flesh is tired. For me, I'm tired. I might look healthy and all that, but oh man, inside, I'm still cleansing and detoxing from all my ways and all my thinking. And everything I did in my life is me. I made that decision to do that. I made a decision to go through that. Every wrong or any person I did wrong or anything that I've created that was negative, that was me. So now moving forward, I gotta lead. Like I said, I got a baby boy coming in to this world. So it's like I gotta be the best leader in the world, bro.
Right.
I can't think about old trauma. I can't think about my pops, not being there and my Superman. I just can't think like that no more because now I'm Superman. You know what I mean? So me being that, all I could do is ask God to keep giving me strength, keep giving me guidance. And what I learned too, also, when you start doing that, and you accept that, and you accept Christ, and you go in that water, it's just like the battle is just getting started.
So what made you? What made you? Because I remember right after we got up at that water, I said, "Get ready for the warfare."
Oh,
what made you be like, "Yo, man, I want to get baptized and I want to walk this thing the right way this time"? What led to that moment outside of the waves crashing in, you at the house by yourself? What made you say, like, you know what? I want to get baptized and I want to do this the right way. And what would be the wrong way? Because you had to walk with Christ before.
Yeah.
So what was that missing element?
The missing element was him being the leader. I never allow him to get full leadership. It's like somebody having rights over somebody's music, you know what I mean, or whatever. I want the rights. I was independent.
Yeah.
I was independent.
Yeah.
I was
I'm an independent artist.
I'm an independent Christ follower. I'm an independent disciple. So that's the wrong way. And I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Like I said, I would never want to put my faith in people. But when that shifted, my heart shifted, and God put like my girlfriend now that's carrying my baby now in front of me, it was just a start. I'm gonna still allow you to get that walk. But you deserve this because you know what you did. Even though you didn't choose me, walking out your previous situation, this is what I man, listen, bro. I pray for my own family, bro. And I never got it. So what that God, I gotta reveal that some way. God's telling me like, yo, all right, listen, big dog. I don't know how much more I could throw wrenches in there and all that. You know what I mean? You either gonna walk by God or you not. And it was just always off, always off. As soon as I stepped out, God gave me a gift. He gave me a gift of, you know what I mean, a beautiful, articulate woman where it was just like, okay, I never want to go in a situation knowing that I'm still broken. 'Cause I was still broken even meeting my girlfriend now. So me in the midst of being broken and me having good conversation and me in a great soul, I you know what I mean, I hid my brokenness, you know what I mean? And until recent, you know what I mean, it's just it brought out old triggers. It brought out old trauma of me being in a cycle in a way. And I had to learn. Like that's what I said, I think I'm so thankful for my girl now just because she prayed for this. You know what I mean? She's like, I ain't gonna lie, like God, right? You know, I mean, she could be upset with me. We might go through something. I'm upset with you. But I prayed for you to me and my fam. So it was like, wow. But that's not what brought me there. What brought me there was me. What brought me there was the conviction I felt. What brought me there was like, wow, all the old baggage came back. I said, oh no. I mean, and that's why now I feel for people who even go through depression and all that, because you could go through a certain part and you can have the guts to take life away. I don't got that guts. You know what I mean? I felt it. I've been at that borderline where I was like, I'm tired. You know, people say that. I'm just, bro, I'm tired. Like, I'm getting tired, bro. Yeah. And the next thing you know, like, oh, what happened?
But that's a beautiful part, because when you're tired, you can now give, like, you know, they say, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah. Funny, but it's real.
I'm tired of driving.
I'm tired, bro.
But that's the best. That's the beauty and the best part of a situation, of being able to have a relationship, and to relinquish. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, let me get them burdens. Let me get that yoke. He said, yo, take on my burden and take on my yoke. My burdens is easy and my yoke is light. And people, we wanna just do it all ourselves, and we're not designed to carry a lot of the stress and the trauma, the worry, the guilt, the shame, the heaviness of life. We're not designed to carry that. That stuff kills people.
Yeah, we just cook it with an easy fix. You know what I mean? Yeah. Might go get a Bobito and drink the Don Julio. But I done been through all that, man. Yeah. I done been through all that where it's like, all right, now you just going through the same cycle, bro. And I couldn't do that, you know what I mean? Because God gave me the biggest purpose in my life, and He gave me, you know what I mean, to leave a legacy of my own flesh.
So let's get to that moment. What we driving up to the to the Durand.
No, before that, let's go rewind that. You told me, you said, yo, man, I don't care. We're going to make this baptism happen. I don't care. We got to go into a hotel.
Oh, yeah, we was searching. We was looking for anywhere to go.
What did I say, though? Remember, because we was going to still do the pool.
We was going to go to the pool.
I'm the one that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you said we could just do Durand.
Yeah, okay, God is trying to lead me. I said, okay. I said, nah, I got to jump in that water.
That day it wasn't a hot day
that day
at all.
It was like about 40.
It looked like outside
degrees,
today without the rain.
47 degrees. Water was freezing. There was no turnover.
It was white caps.
Yeah.
It was white caps.
Yeah.
It was waves, like waves on waves.
Yeah.
Do not baptize nobody in 40-degree weather when the wind is surging and the white caps are showing. The water was frigid.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind, like as we're walking off the shore?
After baptism?
No, but like before while we're
walking, going down the hill and everything.
Yes.
I was just talking to myself, man. I was like, all right, God, it's time. Nah, I just kept apologizing. You know what I mean? I was just apologizing. I was just repenting. And I said, no matter what, God, I don't care who I lose this time.
Mm-hmm.
I could lose anybody as long as you keep me right and I keep your word. I'm gonna do this. This is the last time I need to get dipped in water. I don't need to get dipped in water.
No more dipping.
No more dipping. So that was on me.
And for those watching, y'all don't need to get baptized 25 million times.
Yeah, but that's how we easily get caught up in a trending topic. People, it's just, I don't know. The world is so different now that I work in a job now where 5 days out of the week I may work 16, 18 hours. And you know, the one thing that I'm so grateful for, that you like, why you be great? That I don't have to bring my phone. You know how much quiet I am without this. This is so loud.
Yeah.
You know, and then one thing is crazy. Everything started connecting. Everything started connecting. Like the leading, you know what I mean? Leading, like you said, up until that moment. What happened the next day? I wanted to get baptized. What happened the next day? More people wanted to get baptized. What happened? Is this? You start paying attention and standing back, like, oh snap. Then I start realizing, like, yo, you've been a leader your whole life.
It's a wake up call.
Yeah.
It's a wake up call, because I believe there's tons of people that want to make a choice.
Yeah,
they want to make a decision, but there's so many things blocking them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They got the world in their ear. You know, then they have their own thoughts in their head.
Yeah.
Then you got the people who feel, oh, I'm not ready, and it's like, yo, what is ready? What is ready?
Yeah,
we'll never be ready if we leave it up to us. We'll never be ready.
Yeah.
And Christ is like, yo, come. So boom, we go down the hill, we walk in the frigid water. You're baptized, you go in the shock.
Yeah, oh yeah. But you know what's crazy though? Because it was the same cold water for Slot the next day.
Yeah.
I'm like, living in the water. I'm like, yo, it was just this cold for him.
It was colder.
But I'm still praying on that revealing. It's like, was that a shock, or was that, you know what I mean? Was that God touching me in a different way?
Oh yeah, because you wasn't in shock when we baptized. What's it called?
Nah.
And I threw water on y'all.
Yeah. I was tight.
You was pissed.
I was tight with that a little bit. I was like, yo, come on, bro. I did my shit, bro.
Yo, you was pissed.
But yeah, bro. Like you could, like, if you go run that clip back, and I was just like, it was just like something that's like. It was like it was really being reborn.
Like a reborn.
It was really coming out the womb of that water. You know, when a baby they quiet and you looking for that.
It was
first
like
cry.
your first breath.
Oh man, I said, oh yeah, okay, I got to do this time. And no matter what come my way, I'm talking about, bro. Even with work, I'll be tight. Because it's easy. We're gonna come into the flesh. We're gonna get mad.
Yeah.
So I'm getting mad. I'm like, all right, let me close this door, pray, get up and go. And then honestly, the gospel music, the music of gospel, bro, it brings me to a whole nother place, bro. And me asking for him to lead, that's all I do every day, bro. It's still a work in progress, but I just I want to lead all the way now. You know what I mean? Like for my mother, for you know what I mean, my family, for my own family that's soon coming. And you know, me, like I said, me coming out that water was just like, I'm not. No matter somebody could bring up anything over me in my past. You know what I mean? That's why I just wrote a note recently, and I'm like, I'm no longer a part of my past.
Yeah.
A person could bring up my past now or whatever, and a situation, if it connects to whatever a current situation on my life, that's not me no more.
That's not me.
You know what I mean? And
I'm a new creature.
Exactly.
I'm a new creature.
Whatever you do with the information, whatever you want to do, that's cool. I'm gonna pray for you. You know what I mean? Because I had to pray for myself. And then, like, so now I'm like I said, I'm just walking this walk now, and everything is clearly by faith. Because I'm talking about I be dog tired. I'm talking about physically beat, and I think that's when God be taking over me, bro.
So speaking of faith, what do you think your faith has unlocked for you now that wasn't there before?
Living a purposeful life, man. Like, come on, now you don't see me. I don't work with Nike, bro. You know what I mean? I don't work with Nike numerous times. But I was still empty.
Yeah.
I could have used a lot of things and be very I could have been one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I still can't, but I just had to I'm reconstructing my way of where I'm setting an example for the long run. You know, a lot of people use social media for clout, for a quick bang. I can't do that no more, bro. It's just like, it's not in me. I look at my father. People even hit me now like, yo, bro, you gotta start releasing content again. Yeah, but I'm working on my foundation right now. You know what I mean? And I don't care how many followers I lose. You know what I mean? Like, I literally right now on my Instagram right now, I only follow one female. That's my girl. So understand, like, I'm already been wise and I've already been doing what I have to do, but and me just bringing that up is me saying that we control what we put in our feed every day. You know what I mean? But some people got more faith in how like Pastor Anthony Mitchell. Oh man, God bless his anointing. He said that stuck to me. He said some people got so much faith in their thumb, ragged in Christ. Oh. He said, this is what you're doing. That's that faith you got. You wake up, you ain't even brush your teeth. Now you scrolling. And we all are a victim of that. We all are a victim of that. Even if we walking that walk now, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm bugging. Let me get the word in. Let me pray, big dog, because without him, none of this would be created. You know what I mean? Yeah, everything is more man-made, but bro, me walking now, it's like, I will be, excuse my friend, I will be an idiot to be like, I don't, come on now. I bring everyday with communication. If I feel some way in my heart about something being wrong, I'm gonna ask that person. You know what I mean? All you could do is I don't mean no disrespect.
I think that's the best. That's the best thing. A lot of people don't do that. Yeah. I believe that I'm misunderstood a lot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And people, they don't want to say nothing to me. They gonna say something to everybody else. You're gonna ask, why you asking her and him about me and not me? Yeah. They not me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or have an issue with me off of something that I said that could definitely be lined up in the Word of God. Yeah. And yet it's still not coming.
But then it still be negative though, because you know why? Because now that's devil's work. The devil works through gossip. Yep. So now they paint this picture with social media. They could paint any type of picture. But the thing is like, listen, nobody ever gonna be perfect like Jesus. Right. And the beautiful thing I love about Christ though too, and that's why I want to change the narrative of people like, yo, don't mess with that fake God and all that. I'm like, yo, bro, you know the only person that's supposed to judge is Christ, right? All right, so first of all, I get it why you mad, but let me tell you something too, because when I was deep in the Bible, one thing I understood is that Christ, you think he saved his own people? That boy was if this day he's walking the earth right now, I think he would love a Muslim more than he love a Christian, because he want to save them from destruction. Exactly. He went out into worlds of ghettos.
He said, I forgot the actual scripture. I was just talking about it the other day. He said the sick, they need a hospital. They need a doctor. So why would I be amongst those who are well? Paraphrasing, you know what I'm saying? Why would I be amongst those that are well? If you good, then you good. Go handle my Father's business. The same way I'm about to. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I wouldn't say he'll love a Muslim more than, as equal as.
As equal as, but that's not his purpose.
It's not his purpose.
The people that was against of what he was trying to lay out there, because he didn't want to just touch. He doesn't want to just touch. All right, I'm just gonna touch my kingdom, because that right there, that's what creates religion right there. People want to stay in their own little town and all that, but what is that good if you're not spreading the word? He wanted to spread the word, the
Yeah.
love. Come on now, he sat with the devil. If he sat with the devil and said, I love you still, I ain't gonna lie, there's no person in human being. So that made me understand, like, oh, okay, if God is love, why we over here got hate for the next brother? Why? And people will say, oh, no, I don't hate it, but what's to love thy neighbor?
You got to.
You don't love thy neighbor.
You got to.
You got a judgmental mind.
You got to.
But you don't even got it right all the way.
You got to.
So I sat there and I said, you know what? In full conviction, I said, I can't keep going through the same cycle. I don't judge nobody. Nothing.
What do you think love is?
I think love is actually, like, that's a good question. You just gave me a good question. Yeah, it's a good question because it's like, damn, good person. Yo, I love you.
Yeah, you keep saying love.
I love you.
What?
I'm in love.
Yeah,
it's like that's a good question right there. I think, like I said, I think love is what Christ is. You know what I'm saying? It's full positivity. It's non-judgmental. I think love is.
What is judgmental?
Judgmental is seeing a person they just stole from the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, man, mind you, you might not know that person, or you might know that person like, oh, that, you know what I mean? This person's a thief. What happened? But when he got caught, right? He got caught with diapers, wipes, ointment.
I mean, he's still a thief.
Still a thief. But we judge him now because he's a thief. Now I don't trust him around me, but on purpose.
So what does love do in that instant?
Love could be like seeing that situation, and as a brother or just me being a good person, that's how we carry the legacy over and over and spread the fellowship, spread the discipleship. Bro, you ain't got to do that. We're gonna go back and return this. I'm gonna buy that for you. And now let's figure out a way.
That's beautiful because you know what you just said. That was Christ, because sin is sin.
Exactly.
We can't say sin ain't sin.
No, it isn't. That's not still. That's a commandment.
And we go through all the commandments. So if someone looking at anybody at any other belief and say you should have no other God before me, love is gonna see that and be like, bruh, like nah. Now I understand when you saying people judging like man, like that's weird. Like that's weird to me. Yeah. I'm not gonna look at nobody's faith, nobody's belief, and dog the human.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
I'll dog the faith though.
Yeah,
because I'm on timing when it comes to the faith. But the human, I'ma love you. I'ma love you. I'm not gonna disrespect you. I'm going to respect you. And a beautiful thing that you said was, yeah, he's the thief, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay the price.
Exactly.
That's exactly what Christ did.
Exactly.
We're going to take this back. Matter of fact, we're going to go back inside and I'm going to pay for this. You're not going to be in trouble. It's a misunderstanding. He misunderstood that he can actually get help.
But how many people are sitting there and look like, oh, dang, he got away with that, and then leave it under the table?
Just leave it under the table.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, we all know, but a lot of people don't do nothing to go far and take that last step of leadership. So it's like, but again, like me putting hope and faith in people that let me wrong, like, damn, hold up, but why? But us humans, we not perfect. So, Christ was made perfect. That's why I say, yo, that's the true meaning of love, because he changes the mindset. He renews the spirit. So it's like, I had to like, I could be loving in a feeling way. Like me, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a true emotional person, but that brings passion and the fire side of me and makes me care. But I never allowed him to like, yo, all right, why do I feel this way? Or what am I doing? I responded off me. I pray, but I still responded off me. And then I'll get an attitude about something like, all right, they ain't going my way. All right, well, listen, God got me. I don't know about you. And that's the cycle. And just now we in a deep world where it's like, it's a lot of saving that need to be doing, bro.
Yeah. So how because a lot of believers live this passive Christian life, a very inwardly I'm good, outwardly guys suck. Yeah. No sound doctrine at all, right? A lot of what they know comes from off of a pulpit. And it's not because of time.
Some of them don't even make it there. They just watch YouTube now. Everything's so much easier now. They want a church by on their phone.
What do you think is the missing component in today's church that can help bring all of that back to the essence of what
accountability and community?
Accountability community equals what?
No, you teach me because
discipleship.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah. Because that's me now. I tell you, I mean, I don't put myself like, oh, yo, yeah. Listen, everything is just Christian, but I don't put myself with the Christianity. I don't put myself with the titles.
Yeah.
I put myself as a disciple, and you know what I mean. After getting dipped in that water, after like I said, me even carrying Jeremiah 51:20, understanding like. Yeah, and that kept sticking to me too, because I mind you, I'm over here sitting, I'm like, them swords, I'm thinking, I sit and I look, I'm a very deep thinker. I'm sitting and looking. Now, let me go read the context of this and how he used it. I'm like, oh, he used the own weapon. That was Babylon. That's paganism at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
He used that. He would use the weapon of now just to justify what Christ is.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I seen that, I said, oh, okay. Let me get ready for the warfare now, because spiritual warfare about to be at its all-time high.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm seeing now. I'm seeing today's society, and it's just like a lot of people is just, I don't want to say they don't have faith. It's just we believe in the flesh more than we believe in anything that's spiritual. So I'm on my own walk and being spiritually inclined, and I'm doing that for Christ first.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could sit here and say, yo, I'm doing that for big boy. How many people gonna say that? Yeah.
You got to do it for Christ, period.
Yeah.
We got to do it for Christ, period. Yeah. Our whole walk, man, I can't do this for Amanda, for Flock, for none of them. Like, I know they need it.
Mm-hmm.
However, my surrender is to Christ and Christ alone. Like, my surrender is like, yo, I know it's going to trickle down.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to trickle down, and it's necessary. That may be motivation.
Yeah.
That's motivation all day. Flock, that's my motivator.
Yeah, facts.
Flock motivates me. Even my daughters, Devani, Gianni, even Nija, they motivate me to be, who I'm meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
However, man, I have such a strong desire to be yielded to Christ. It makes my walk totally different.
Yeah. So you felt him. You felt your family.
Yeah.
And that's people, we don't see that though, because we probably go through something so crazy, and within family or within, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like, listen, you don't lost a lot of people, so now that could even take you off your game.
Yeah. Like, people thought I'd have been out of it. I done lost my dad and my mom. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. People say, "Oh, I can understand." Like, you don't understand.
You don't understand nothing.
So I'm like, I could never sit here and I was like, "Oh, I think you're gonna be testing me now, guy. Hold on, I might worry." You know what I mean? It's like that's why I commend you for that, because it's like
I'm a testament that with Christ, bro. My mom died on the day before my birthday. On the Sunday, while I got a rap at the church, bro. But the night before when I was with her, and I told her, I said, yo, Mom, don't even play with me, son. Like, don't try to die on my birthday, bro. Because me and my mom was like this. I'm a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I already know how she moved. Mm-hmm. Like, she could be like, well, I'm going to hold out on Sunday, and then on Monday, I'm going to just give up the ghost. So I'm like, yo, Mom, don't even play yourself. And when I woke up on Sunday, Uwap was dead. Rest in peace, Uwap. And I felt, I was like, yo, my mom gonna die today. Like, I knew it. Like, yo, my mom about to die today. Boom. The guys from the Link Up, y'all know what the Link Up is. Link Up is, a men's discipleship group. They tried to kidnap me and the Sprinter, and they took me to the church because they was thinking, like, yo, let's celebrate D. Will birthday today, because Monday, like, who celebrates their birthday on a Monday? So boom, you see how God orchestrating all this weird stuff? Like, he sends the guys to come get me. You know what song I did? I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping.
Yeah.
Whole time I'm bugging out while I'm rapping, bro.
Yeah.
And then causes me to encourage people in the crowd.
Yeah.
As I'm saying, yo, I just lost my man this morning. My mom on her deathbed. And I'm crying. Boo-hoo tears. So I ain't tripping. I'm losing it.
Yeah.
At the end of service, yo, PZ hit me up. Shout out to Pastor Zach. PZ, like, yo, D. Will, if you want to pray for anybody, yo, just pray for Sonny. And I'm like, man, I ain't praying for nobody, man. I'm over here sick.
Yeah, but I mean, that's hard to do.
You know what I'm saying?
Still got that's all at one time. That's a true
But God,
test.
God is constant, bro.
Yeah.
Man, I open my eyes. Next thing you know, there's 50 dudes around me, and they praying for me.
Mm-hmm. And that's why your testimony right there alone is like, it makes me even cherish even my mom to a certain degree, because even growing up, I done seen my mom's battle at a young age, breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? My grandmother, thyroid. So it's like, man, I'm like, you got to be a certain different type of strong. Like I said, I wouldn't know. I ain't gonna lie. My mother, man, I I could be in a situation where I don't even speak to her for a while. She's, and when I come back, it's still the same love. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then me going through a lot.
But we don't gotta be strong, bro.
Yeah,
we gotta be weak.
Yeah.
In my weakness, then I made strong.
Exactly. But I didn't understand that, because we still.
I ain't understand that.
We still gotta be this. Yeah, we gotta be this alpha. We gotta be like, nah, I'm alright. You know what I mean? I'm good. Nah, I never was alright. And I never dealt with like my trauma, bro. I never dealt with it. So now, me bringing all that in, it messed up situations. So now I'm just at a point where I can't mess no situation up. I know when my baby boy take this earth, I'm about to lead him in the most right way I can. So, I mean, I'm blessed, bro.
Boom. We're gonna go into the segment called Fails of the Week. So you super disciplined.
Yeah.
You super disciplined.
Yeah.
You be trying to discipline me.
Yeah.
So this week, did you ever slip up? Did you ever eat something you wasn't supposed to eat?
Oh, for sure. People look at me now, and I mean, my weight is up. That's because my output, you know what I mean, is crazy. You know what I mean? I'm always doing 1,000, 2,000 pushes a day. You know what I mean? Especially me now working in the jail. Like,
what you eat though?
I mean, for the most part, I make sure I'm always drinking like half a gallon to a gallon of water. But what I ate, I mean, I'm always snacking, bro. I probably would eat like 10, 12 cookies before bed.
Hey, yo.
I'm talking about before I'm going to sleep. I probably didn't even digest everything fully. Then wondering why I'm waking up and sweating. Because cookies. my body trying to digest while I'm sleeping.
So Monty's the cookie monster.
Yeah, I'm a snack. Anybody that know me know I love chocolate. You know what I mean? It's, oof, you know what I mean? But that's definitely my weakness, man.
What's something that you used to believe that you now look back and you just shake your head? Like, am I cool?
It's the same thing, man. I believed in people too much more than I believed in the creator, bro. So it's like, I never said like, oh, I did this wrong. Cause everything I put myself in, I made that decision. You know what I mean? Even if I thought it was right, thought it was wrong, nothing in my life that I've been through, I do not regret. I don't regret it at all. You know what I mean? Me going into now, learned that I used to even think that if my feelings was hurt or anything, that I will become lustful at certain points. And that stage was be like, because if trauma happens or trigger happens, I used to try to think our validation in the next woman would make me feel better. But at the end of the day, that would make me feel less and less and less whole. And God, like I said, God always had that hand on me. Like, all right, I like me. If I would think of what he was doing, he would just have his hand on me, and just be like, well, where we going now? You know what I mean? He got his hand on my shoulder, following me, but he like, where are we going? Like, I don't know where we going. I'm here with you, but where are we going? So, I could just shake my head at just, like I said, my decisions, man. I don't take nothing back because it gave me this experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know what I could save my son from. I know what I could save him from going through anything. And
that's key. That's key.
I'm not, you know what I mean? One thing about him, I told my girl this other day, I said, yo, I will die in the spirit and the flesh before I let my son go to destruction. Now, I mean, you know how the people saying that I'll go to jail.
Die in the flesh. Don't die in the spirit.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, but you know, like people say, I'll go to jail. But that's me. Now I know what that feel like.
Right.
I'll go to jail for mine.
Right.
So I let her know, and it's more of a it's more of an analogy to saying that, I'm not gonna lead them astray no more.
Right.
I let myself astray. So God was fixing me because if 10 years ago or more, and God gave me a kid, oh my God. We both living wrong. I'm living wrongs, and now I got to reparent. So God waited for this special moment for me to get of age, for me to get of experience, for me to get wisdom at the highest, of me to come back to Christ to give me a baby boy. And that's why I said, nah, I mean, I'm just moving forward.
So boom, that leads to answer these 2 questions, right? Then we're
Mhm.
gonna go into the rapid fire round.
Okay, copy.
What advice would you give someone who feels stuck in who they used to be? And how do you want your story to inspire the next generation, whether in faith, fitness, or fatherhood?
So, even I'm just gonna put faith, fitness, and all the way to the side. My biggest thing is who you are, identity. People could look at me, 6-pack, big back, pull ups, push ups. He's an animal. I don't mean I'm happy inside. So I can never, you know what I mean? I could never. I just could never. I could never go back. I could never go back to that cycle, man. I can't. It's like I said. It's. I was living a destructive life. You know what I mean? My life was a destruction. I was influenced by the wrong things. And I was a part of the biggest percentage in the world, which everybody's influenced and trending. My biggest advice is like, you got to sit down and self and be comfortable with yourself. Like, put the phone to the side, and whatever makes you happy, emphasize that, but pray about it, and don't care what people think. You know what I mean? You can get advice because some things we could go about wrong, but the identity part, man, like it took me to get to my 30s to find out about my identity, to be comfortable in my skin, to be like, I can feel this way. Nah, maybe I gotta be a little bit more hood, or maybe I gotta be a little bit more, I gotta carry myself like this. You know what I mean? Or people do that. People ain't gonna admit it,
right?
But it's a lot of pretenders out there.
Mask.
Oh man, and I had to take that mask off, bro. Like God was showing me, like in the last couple months, and I didn't, I kind of lost my job right for months. I'm selling things of materials or bills. I was telling you that. I'm like, oh, hold on, let me not scared. Some people just want to stay in the pain and the trauma, but not understand why God put them through that. I'm going through it. I'm like, oh, he's stripping me away from this world. He bringing me back. This is before baptism. He bringing me back.
Right.
Sell your thing. You don't need none of that. Because if that's for you, I'll triple, quadruple it. So what I'm gonna say is, people like, yo, you gotta please have faith, and you gotta know who you is as a person. Don't ever let another person tell you who you is. Don't ever let a person. They can have an input, opinion about something, but people get butt hurt off of the opinions, bro. And I'm just not. I'm not there no more, bro. Like I'm gonna choose my own identity, and I'm gonna pray through prayer, and I'm gonna ask God to lead me.
Boom. All right, so check this out. Rapid round. What's your favorite workout?
I mean, it's 3, but pull up. It's 3. You know, it's kind of said a pull up, push up, dip. So
right.
Pull ups is definitely.
I hate dips.
Yeah.
Pull ups and the push ups I love, but the dips I always hate.
Pull up and push ups is my main 2 go-to, bro.
Last thing you prayed for?
Last thing I pray for is for me to. I pray for every day, but I always pray for is to me lead my family into Christ, bro. Me to save everybody that I can while I'm in the physical aspect of the world, and more than anything, praying for my girl to have the most healthiest pregnancy and labor that she could possibly have. Because I know the blessing, and I know the risk factors of even when a female gives birth to a kid. So it's like, that's why I pray for every day. I'm real consistent in what I want. Some people change their prayers every day, and it's like, bro, where we at? What do you like? We got to stay focused on one progression. So that's the last thing I pray for is family.
Song that gets you fired up.
You said song? Oh, it's been Chandler Moore lately. It's been Lead Me On. It's been on repeat, bro.
Lead me on.
I'm telling you, repeat.
Dumbest injury you've ever had?
Oh man, I have injuries, bro.
What's the dumbest one?
Oh man, I dislocated my hip in a football game. Yeah, popped the whole head of the femur.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear nothing about that.
Man, it's crazy football injuries, but that's probably the craziest one.
One word that describes this season of your life. One word.
Involvement.
involvement. If you could go back and say one thing to your younger self, what would it be?
Be faithful to Christ. That's what I could say in a nutshell. 'Cause I could explain the whole. I could piggyback on that and go like, yo, this, and this wild. But yeah, but be faithful to Christ, and I mean being faithful like it's your marriage. Like it's like if you don't be faithful, you're gonna lose everything. Like it's like I'm talking about like and me putting it and trying to compliment it with something is like a genie. Like, yeah, you know how the genie say, listen, all right, as soon as you lose faith, it's gone. And I that's my thing. I don't never want to lose faith. I lost faith a lot in my life, and I try to take control. And it's in the Bible. Don't put nothing too much you know that you can't carry. You know, for I am with you. So that's one thing I could say, man. Just lose the unfaithfulness, man. The unfaithfulness have gave me a lot of battle wars and scars. Like I said, now I'm just equipped. I'm equipped with the Holy Spirit. I'm equipped, you know, with the swords, and whatever come my way, I'm gonna keep him first.
Let's go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here. You need faith. Without faith, you're nothing. Without faith, he's just a bag of flesh.
Yeah.
So keep it faithful and keep it in good company. So it's your boy D Will. Thank you, Monty, for coming through, sharing your story.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Mike Thomas is here, but he's acting like he's not here. So if you ever wondered where he was, just know he's here. And even though he's not here, he's still in good company. We're out of here.
Thanks for listening to In Good Company. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more information or to connect with Mike, visit him online at thomasmediagroup.co or on Instagram at Michael L. Thomas. Thanks again for listening, and remember, the best of business happens in good company. We'll see you next time.